Hello and welcome to our latest video from Tranquil Cycling Giant. But today we are not having a video about cycling. Now most of you know I am a doctor and I am working in the government setup. Right now we are in the lockdown. I think it's the 5th day of lockdown. As far as Kerala are concerned, we had 1 or 2 days extra because we started earlier. So what is a lockdown and what is the plan for our dealing with corona? What you got to understand is this disease is unique in that it spreads very fast. That is, the ratio is around 2.6 to 2.7 new cases per infected case. That is, if one person gets infected, that person will spread the disease to at least 3 new people. That is, the progression is geometric. One person gets the disease, he gives it to 2 people. Those 2 people don't give it to the 3 people, they give it to 4 people. The 4 people give it to 8. And so this is what is called geometric progression. So this is the uniqueness of the coronavirus. How does it do it? Well, there are 2 main important things about coronavirus that allow it to spread so fast and so efficiently. The first thing is, this is able to survive on non-organic surfaces like plastic or metal for anywhere up to 48 or even 72 hours, or some papers are saying that on paper they may be able to survive more. So there is a big question about this, whether this will spread through currency notes. So nobody is giving an answer to that yet, and I don't think we want to know an answer to that also, because that is one thing that we definitely want to touch even if we are going to die. So coming back to the point, the coronavirus spreads by 2 methods. One, by contact. That is, it doesn't spread through droplet infection. It is not an aerosol. That is, it can stay in the atmosphere once a person with a coronavirus infection coughs or sneezes, but that is not the main way. These droplets with the virus settle down on the surfaces, and when you touch these surfaces, it comes on your hand, and from your hand it goes onto your face, that is your nostrils, eyes, mouth, and all these mucosal surfaces, and that's how it spreads. So that's number one. That is, the virus is able to remain alive on non-organic surfaces for a large amount of time. Second, this virus is spreading even in patients who are asymptomatic, which means that a person with the coronavirus infection may not even have a fever, and he is already spreading the disease. So that's the basis of the 2 or 3 week quarantine periods that we are giving to patients who are suspected of having a coronavirus disease. So if you want to go into the exact scientific terms, the exact scientific graph, what you're seeing here is the graph of how the body reacts to the coronavirus. That is, as you can see in the graph, the first 1 to 5 days you don't have the disease manifesting. That is, you have the coronavirus inside your body, but you don't have any symptoms, not even a cough or a cold. And if you are testing for the coronavirus, it comes only after about 7 to 10 days. That is, if you look at the graph, the IgM comes only up to 7 to 10 days. So we have got a virus with 3 special characteristics. One, we have absolutely no defense against this virus, either biologically from your own human body or by way of medicines, because this is most probably a virus that originated in animals, most probably. Second, the asymptomatic people are spreading the virus. And third, you have got a virus that is able to remain on the surfaces. So if you are going to the supermarket and you are going to buy a packet of milk, and if a person with coronavirus has infected that milk packet, the surface of the milk packet, when you touch the surface of that milk packet, you touch your face again, you are infected with the coronavirus. So that's how efficiently this virus spreads. How are we dealing with it? Number one, we are going into a lockdown not to completely eradicate the coronavirus. That you have got to understand that. The lockdown is not to eradicate it, it is to do something that epidemiology is called flatten the curve. That is, if you have got a sudden curve, a sudden peak of rise of the coronavirus cases, that sudden peak is going to overload your hospital. Old people will most probably die due to ARDS, that is acute respiratory distress syndrome, or lung problems. They will require a ventilator. Sometimes the ventilator itself may not be enough. You have to go into something called as an ECMO or a heart-lung machine, which oxygenates your blood. Though it destroys the lungs, and for a person with lowered lung capacity, this is going to be fatal. Second, the young people are also going to die. Not due to lung problems. The young people will die at the gates of the hospital because the hospital is filled with old people who are suffering from the coronavirus. So the coronavirus is going to kill both the young and the old. The old people will die inside the hospital, and the young people will die because they don't have a chance to go inside the hospital. So this is the acute peak which Italy, Spain, and right now America is also facing. The virus has overloaded the health system and it is collapsing. Many people are dying without proper care simply because, not because they don't have the care, but they are not able to reach every single person who has it. So what has our government of India done? We have put down a lockdown. So the lockdown limits human contact, it limits social contact, so it limits the way the virus is spreading. It's as simple as that. And at the end of 21 days, what is going to happen? That is the biggest question, my friends. What is going to happen after 21 days? Well, you have to understand, if there is a single patient with coronavirus inside India, this epidemic is going to restart. If you don't understand why, just listen very carefully to what I am going to tell you now. Just think, how many patients or how many viruses actually started the epidemic? You have to understand, it is not 50 viruses, it is not 40 or 30 viruses, it is not 20 viruses, it is not 10 viruses, it is one single coronavirus infecting one single patient, and that started the whole epidemic. So to restart this whole epidemic once again, how many viruses do you need? One. You don't even require one patient, you just require one live virus on your milk packet or your handrail or your bus or the seat on which you are sitting, and as soon as that goes inside a human body, this epidemic is going to restart. So the lockdown is not going to completely expose and quarantine every single case of coronavirus. That is not the purpose of the lockdown. The lockdown is to flatten the curve. That is, we already talked about the overloading of the health system. Instead of a hospital getting 200 or 300 patients per day, we are going to bring it down to about 50 or 70 patients per day, and we will be able to manage it. Now we are coming to one of the most important things that is circulating on the social media, this graph that you see here. This graph is made by ICMR, and everybody knows that ICMR is Indian Council of Medical Research. But this is not that ICMR, this is the Indian Council of Mathematical Research. If you look at the graph A, it is projecting mathematically what is going to happen in a couple of months after the lockdown. It is projecting a very bleak figure. It is projecting an exponential rise of the number of cases, and you can see it is peaking to a certain level and finally it is exploding. So if it is going to explode like that, why do you want to have a lockdown? Next, if you think that there should be another solution, they are giving another solution. They are giving multiple lockdowns, 21 days, 28 days, one more, or they are giving one lockdown of 49 days. a 49-day lockdown, which is more than 1.5 months of lockdown for completely abating, completely stopping the coronavirus epidemic inside India. So on one hand, you have got graph A, which shows the virus peaking again as a complete epidemic after our 21-day lockdown, and you have got graph D, which is showing a coronavirus completely going down and a complete eradication of the virus after a 49-day lockdown. Which of these should we follow, or which of these should we believe? I tell you, it is neither. You have to understand how this study was conducted. This study was conducted by studying the effects, studying the contacts, studying the number of transmissions from the patients who came to India from outside. So this is what this study shows. Second, this is a mathematical study and it has got certain objectives which were preset. Now, if everything is going according to the plan of the government of India, we have got certain modifications to the situations that were there before this disease came to our place. The first thing is we are going to change the social equation. The first thing is we are going to enforce hand wash. That is something that everybody knows now, that you should wash your hands regularly, about 1 or 2 hours gap. The second thing, we have got a nice video from the Czech Republic, that is Czechoslovakia, and I'm showing a screenshot of the video here. This lady is saying that every single person in the Czech Republic used to wear a mask, and that is going to modify it. How? The question here is, we all know that if you want to protect yourself from the coronavirus, you have to have something called as the N95 mask. Is this an N95 mask that we are talking about? No. We are talking about an ordinary mask, maybe made of ordinary cloth. And what it does, it acts not to protect a person from coronavirus, but it prevents a person who has the coronavirus from transmitting it through coughing or sneezing. That is, it prevents the droplet infection. So since there is no droplet, there will be no infection, and a person with the coronavirus, whether he is in the pre-incubation period, whether he is symptomatic or not, this mask is going to stop that. So the hand washing and the widespread wearing of mask is going to make a huge difference in the mathematical model that you see in graph A, which means we do not expect that much of a sudden peak. Second, the graph D shows a complete decline, a complete decrease. Well, that is just not going to happen, because all you need is one single case anywhere in India and it is going to peak again no matter what you do. And for that, we have to come back again to the hand washing and the wearing of face masks. So this, my friends, is what is going to happen. We are going to have an epidemic after the lockdown, but it will not be as bad as the epidemics which happened in Italy, Spain, or even New York, America, that is happening now. So we will have an epidemic, but it will not be that bad. We will have less number of patients. We will be able to take care of them. We will have less number of deaths. And finally, what is going to happen after this epidemic, after this lockdown? After this lockdown, we will have to continue the hand washing, the social distancing, and the wearing of masks to prevent another person from getting infection. This disease is going to be with us for quite a long time, anywhere between 6 months to 1.5 years. We will have at least sporadic cases coming and going out, hopefully, but nobody is going to die because we will have adequate staff. And as doctors, what are we doing? Well, myself, I am an orthopedician. I have absolutely no idea of critical care. I am managing fractures, I am managing emergencies, but we have now got a training on how to intubate a patient with coronavirus, how to manage a ventilator, and that is what we are going to do. Every single person with an MBBS degree is going to be trained on how to manage a ventilator. So don't worry, if you do reach a hospital and you do need a ventilator and there is no anesthetist around, don't worry, every one of us is here and you will be taken care of. That is what we are going to do. And what should the government do? Well, there are so many opinions and I am giving my opinion. My opinion is government should subsidize the taxes or the cost of ventilators. Not to buy it in government hospitals, but subsidize the cost, bring down the taxes for private hospitals. They can pledge them to the government hospitals or they can pledge to use those ventilators in their own hospitals or the coronavirus centers. And once the epidemic is over, government can give it back so that these places will save a lot of money and maybe in the long term it will bring down the cost of critical care. So to all my Indians, everybody who is watching this, remember, this war is just beginning. The lockdown is not going to stop the disease. It is just going to slow the peak. It is going to decrease the number of cases. It is going to give us time to prepare for this war and have no doubt about it. We are preparing like hell. When this disease strikes, we are going to be ready. And I'm not saying that not a single person is going to die, but we will not have a large scale number of deaths like what happened in countries that were not prepared. So remember, after the 21-day lockdown, continue to wash your hands and if possible, wear a face mask. And we will overcome. हम होंगे कामयाब and Jai Hind. Thank you.